The subject, of course, is truth, God, and I technically like to call it happiness, because in the end we discover that the God we're seeking is the ultimate happiness with no sorrow whatsoever. This makes God far more intimate, more knowable than just using the word God or some of the other words that have been used. The word self, with a capital S, is a much closer, a more meaningful word to all of us than the word God. God we call the self because the inner self of each one of us is that God that we are seeking. The God we are seeking gives us the ultimate happiness because it is without limitation. Each and every one of us, here and now, is that unlimited being with no limits whatsoever, acting as though we are limited and fully convinced, most of us, that we are limited. And since God, for the self, or the very being that we are, is changeless and eternal, we can only be that and nothing else. We are right now that infinite being called God, pretending that we are not, setting up an appearancy called the world, an appearancy called diversification, otherness, and we have lost sight of the fact that we have set up this falsity called the world, and we began to really believe that this false projection we have set up is real. But we can never, ever let go of being that which we really are, the infinite self. Now, all troubles stem from not knowing, not accepting the infinite being that we are. The only thing that covers up this infinite being that we are is the sense of egoity, the sense of ego, that I am an individual, separate from the all. And the moment we start that separation, we start all trouble. As one sees the world, so is he. As you see the world out there, so are you. It is impossible to see something out there that is not in our mind. There's nothing out there but our own consciousness. A master, a perfected being, sees only perfection. So if we would take this key and check ourselves during the day on all the especially negative thought and start looking within to discover the source of this, we will see that these thoughts are right in us. They are our thought. That the horribleness that we thought was out there is right in here. Because we are in a state of the world that is relatively a low state, most of us are far more with negative thinking because we accept negativity, and therefore we can undo that negativity by facing it, by first learning how to discover this negativity. By saying that if we see it out there, it's right within us, otherwise we couldn't see it. And then using it to let go of it. So we look out there and anything and everything we see that is not just right, we turn inwardly and we look at this very thing within ourselves, and if we look honestly we'll discover that that thought was right within us. That concept is our concept, that it doesn't apply to the other, it applies right to us. And then when we see it, we automatically let go of it because we are seeking truth, we are seeking happiness. Anytime we are happy, we are merely feeling this infinite self that we are a bit more, and the more we feel it, the happier we are. We falsely attribute the happiness to the thing or the person out there. But when we turn within, we discover that this happiness has its source right in our very own being and is not dependent upon people or things. So you must turn within until you can see that the source of all joy is your very own self. This is a tremendous thing when you see it. And all things lose their hold upon you, all people that you thought you couldn't live without. You need no more. You become whole and complete unto yourself. When you discover that all your joy has its source in your very own self. Think what you want, that is only what you will get. When we go into this instrument called the mind, we discover that the mind is only creative. The mind creates what we hold in mind. We should not limit what we want. We should never say, through whom, by what means, through what method, we would like to get that which we want. Once we do that, we are interjecting the ego. We are trying to direct the way this thing that we want is to come to us. We should let go and let God, let go, let the infinite find the way of getting to us that which we want. And also, we must think in present time. Anytime we expect to get something in the future, we are creating it in the future, and that's where it remains, in the future. So that when we want to create something, we must accept it as having been already received. If it is a thing, we should visualize it, see it, feel it, taste it, smell it, as though it is, and is ours now, period, finished, drop. In the ultimate truth, God is not a creator, only man is. In an absolute perfection, there is nothing to be created, nothing to be destroyed. Everything is absolutely perfect. So in the ultimate, there is no creation. Where the top God is, there can be no creation and no dissolution. The only creator is man. When he doesn't know that he is God.